It doesn't matter how many mushrooms Dave Castro decides to draw on a chalkboard, that clue still doesn't make any sense. In fact, the only way it would have been acceptable is if he had come out to tell affiliate owners that they will not need mushroom to put this workout on for their members. And we will talk about that. The CrossFit Open has begun. 24.1 has come and gone, so hopefully you did the workout, you managed to submit your scores in time, you've probably had the chance to reflect on some of the decisions you've made in life leading up to this point, and now with a clear head we can talk about 24.1 and why some people absolutely loved this as the first open workout, whereas for others it shook them to the very core and has potentially caused some kind of fitness dysmorphia. Now, of course, I might be slightly exaggerating there. Nobody really loves snatches and burpees, do they? And if you are that person that says, no, I really do love burpees, then please write that down in the comments because none of us believe you actually exist. And while you're down there, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Now, of course, even if people didn't love 24.1, an argument can be made as to why this was a very good workout to be the first workout of the CrossFit Open. And to expand on that point, well, I would throw over to Andy Edwards, a CrossFit Level 4 and the owner of Dragon Athletic, a 13-year CrossFit affiliate. So the man has put on the Open on more than one occasion. So notice what he had to say.
It was fantastic. We've always put effort into getting as many people signed up for the Open as possible. In the past, certain things have meant that maybe the first workout hasn't really motivated people as much as all, but this year certainly, with the simplicity and the ease to also judge as well, what an atmosphere here this evening. From a business perspective, we had a couple of people like 2 weeks they've been members here. We've had one person who was like a month, and bringing them into that environment, you know, music cranked up, people cheering them along, which is obviously the first time they've experienced that. Hopefully they'll be back for a little bit more next Friday.
So Andy highlights an interesting element here. The workout is simple. Some people have even accused it of being boring, but when we look at it with that global lens, we didn't need complicated floor plans. We didn't have to worry about how affiliates around the world would run their members through this, considering that gyms are obviously different shapes and different sizes. All you needed was a bit of floor space and a dumbbell. And Andy also talks about the fact that it would be a simple workout to judge. Now, I agree that theoretically this is a very easy workout to judge. That being said, a simple scroll through Instagram and you probably will have seen a number of people jumping behind the dumbbell or landing with one foot before the other foot had even left the ground, and of course the classic, a hand on the leg to support themselves when they go for the snatch. But really, that's the fault of the community, and we can't blame CrossFit. Another positive thing coming out of the Open is the number of firsts. I spoke to people that said this was the first time they'd ever done the Open. I spoke to people that said they've done the Open a number of times, but this was the first time they actually signed up through CrossFit. So these in themselves are positive. But when we think about firsts in the Open and Open Magic, we're probably thinking about people getting their first bar muscle up or their first handstand push-up, these more complicated movements. And we might not necessarily think about it with a workout like 24.1, dumbbell snatches and burpees over the dumbbell. And yet for many, this was the first. I spoke to a number of people that said this was the first time in a workout they'd ever used, if you're in America, the 50-pound or 35-pound dumbbell. If you're in the rest of the world, 22.5 or 15 kilos. And if it is the first time that you're tackling that weight in a workout, well done, because having to do 21 on one arm before the burpees and then changing and doing another 21 is not the easiest way to do dumbbell snatches. And then for many others, it was the first time they'd ever taken on an open workout RX and actually finished it within the time cap. So that 15-minute time cap was very interesting because it was doable for many people. Yes, they had to push hard, but I think more people finished it and were surprised by that than you would expect. Of course, for some, that was an incredibly generous time cap. For example, it would be unforgivable if I did not mention Taylor Self, who really put himself in a dark place to put up an incredible 5:40, a time that we thought was truly unbeatable. That was until we saw that Colton Mertens managed to do it in 5:19. That man is truly superhuman. Now, while these times are truly incredible, a lot of other people put up really respectable times, and yet they were not happy with their performance. So, of course, a lot of people decided to redo the workout. Where would we be if people didn't decide to redo open workouts? However, is there really a point in redoing the workouts anymore? The top 25% are going through to quarterfinals. So if you're well within that top 25%, is it worth redoing the workout to move up a few spots? Now, of course, if you're on the borderline and you're maybe in the 26 or you're just creeped into the top 25 and you want to secure your spot because you don't know what the next workouts are going to be, I get it. Or whatever reason, maybe you messed up the workout somehow. But it was interesting to see how many people decided to redo the workout when they're probably already guaranteed a spot in quarterfinals. And of course, the open workouts, well, they're always quite humbling. But it seems that some people are not taking that very well. For example, I saw a very interesting observation made by Andy Tinner, who goes by Functional Fitness Training on Instagram, talking about the fact that there are people he knows that spend hours a day training in the gym who are incredibly fit by any other metric. They would be considered fit. But they are just looking at a performance of 24.1 that they're not super happy about and deciding that they are not fit individuals anymore, or they are not where they want to be with their fitness. In fact, he described it as a kind of fitness dysmorphia. So I did share his post on my Instagram, JasonCF Media. Go and give it a follow if you're not already. And I also asked for people to give their opinions and feedback on this comment. And it was very interesting to see some of the responses. So some people just put their hands up and said guilty as charged. They do the same thing. They judge themselves too harshly after a bad workout. Others highlighted the fact that maybe the incredible times of the elite individuals can give us unrealistic expectations of what we think is a good score for this kind of workout. But maybe one of the most enlightening comments was the fact that if this truly was some kind of fitness dysmorphia, people would probably be quiet about it, and maybe they're just saying that they don't feel fit because they want validation from their peers. You know, the classic, oh, I'm just not fit enough, and they say, oh, you're so fit, you're incredible. They're like, oh, thanks, I really like to hear that. So maybe that's what's going on, who knows? But realistically, you might be the fittest person in your gym, and you just happen to get beaten by the second or third fittest person because, well, this is a wheelhouse workout for them. It's one workout that consists of 2 movements. That is not enough for us to decide our level of fitness. There's a couple more open workouts coming for that very reason. So maybe you have been working incredibly hard over the last year, since the last open. In fact, your fitness has increased, but you've just been working on other areas, other holes you had in your fitness, and they haven't shown up in the open yet. Maybe they are coming next week or the week after. Speaking of, what would you like to see in the open? Please let me know in the comments below, and why not? Tell us how you did in 24.1. And I just want to say that I had an incredible time at Dragon Athletic. I was down there filming 24.1. There is a video on my channel if you want to see some interviews with the members of that affiliate. And then I will be heading up to Scotland to CrossFit Glasgow on Friday. I'll be filming there over the weekend, so look out for some content coming from that trip that will be here on YouTube and Instagram in the coming days as well. And finally, if you haven't seen it already, Dave Castro has put up a new clue for 24.2, but just remember, you probably have more chance of winning the lottery than working out how his mind works.